How's it going, guys? It's your boy Andrew RFC here, and welcome back. And today we are getting close to a couple months away from the Euros. They start up in June, so we're about 2.5 months away. But obviously there's a lot of international friendlies going on right now. So I thought, why don't we look at the potential lineups for the big teams coming up in the Euro. Remember, as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a big like and leave a comment down below which team you guys want to see next. So I had to start today with France. Obviously, they're the host country. Big tournament for them after the terrorist attacks, obviously, that happened there. And, you know, they have the benefit of hosting the tournament this year. So we'll see how they do. So, again, this is my opinion, kind of I was coaching the team. Based off who I've seen and things that I've read, who I would pick to bring to the Euros if I was in their kind of situation. So we start off with the goalkeeper position. I had to go with Hugo Lloris. I don't think there's any question about France's #1 goalkeeper. I think Hugo Lloris is absolutely phenomenal. As somebody who watches Spurs, I think Lloris is without doubt one of the better goalies in the league, in the world, and I think no question at all to be France's goalie. So again, with this team, we're going to be going through the starting 11, who I have, of course, and then the bench and reserve. So there's 23 players, as you can see on the screen. Up next, we have Christophe Jallet. So I have Jallet listed as the right back for the starting 11. Big reason, that's kind of a position France lacks. They have recently called up Bakary Sagna for their friendlies as well as Jallet. I don't even have Sagna being on the 23-man roster going into the Euros. I don't know. He hasn't really done it for me. I don't think Sagna has anything what he used to be. So I have Jallet here. You know, obviously not the greatest right back, but he will do. I think France have a strong team regardless. Up next, we have Raphael Varane, obviously from Real Madrid. He's been playing a lot this season. Pepe's had some trouble staying fit. Sergio Ramos is Sergio Ramos and getting in trouble, also then not being fit. So I think the easy choice is Raphael Varane for the center-back spot here. Up next, we have Laurent Koscielny. I always mess up his name so badly. But he, I think, easy. What he's done for Arsenal, I think he's probably been the best defender in the English Premier League this year. And I think it's just a simple choice, obviously. I think to have him be the #1 guy, I think he's going to be the anchor for this team. At left back, we have Layvin Kurzawa. So obviously, another thing I'm going to mention with this is as long as the player, this is if players are fit. If I know there's a player unfit, I will mention it and I'll say, okay, instead of this guy, we'll put him. As well as obviously some players may be hurt right after I record this, who knows. So I have Kurzawa listed as the left back, obviously. Again, this is if they're all healthy. I have Kurzawa at left back, easy. He's been great for PSG. You know, he's picked up a couple informs in FIFA. He's been in form in real life. So I think it's an easy choice. I think he should be the left back for France. Up next, we have Paul Pogba in the midfield. Obviously, Pogba, I don't really have to say anything. Team of the season, obviously, this year for the 23-year-old Frenchman. There's not much to be said about Paul Pogba other than, you know, he's phenomenal and he's just going to keep getting better. Up next, we have Blaise Matuidi. Obviously, Matuidi, another great guy, PSG winning the Ligue 1, and he's always a big part of it, and I think he's going to have to be a vital part for France, obviously, to try and win the Euros this year. Up next, I have Hatem Ben Arfa in the team. And I'm not just basing this off FIFA. Everybody's making a big deal of him, obviously, this year. But Hatem Ben Arfa has been phenomenal for Nice this year, without question. And, you know, I've been looking at his stats. He's been killing it in Ligue 1. I think he deserves a shot with the French national team. I actually have him in the starting 11, just for the time being. So, you know, I think he deserves a shot there. Up next, we have Dimitri Payet, who, you know, West Ham are a completely different team with and without Payet. With him, they look great. Without Payet, they don't look that good at all. I think he's a difference maker, and I think with France, he could definitely bring that come the time of the Euros. Up next, we have Antoine Griezmann. Obviously, Griezmann you cannot ignore at all. Griezmann is another phenomenal player. You know, there's not much that can't be said about Griezmann. So obviously, the thing will be, where's Griezmann going to play? Is he going to be a striker? Is he going to be a right winger, which he has been before for the French national team? We're all going to see when, obviously, the tournament comes around. And the other striker is obvious. It's Karim Benzema. He's been kind of the main striker for France for quite a few years now. He's how old now? About 26, 27 years old, I believe Karim is now. So obviously, I think Benzema will be the lead guy with Griezmann beside him, either on the flank or in the middle. Up next for the backup goalie, so now we're moving on to the bench and the reserves. So one of the 3 goalies, usually teams bring 3. I have Steve Mandanda, simple choice. He's been very good for Olympique Lyon this year. Or sorry, Olympique Marseille. Wow, I'm going to get some hate from the French. On defense, we have Aymeric Laporte. Laporte, simple decision, very good young defender. Another one as well, obviously playing for Bilbao. Big one for them this season, and I think obviously again regarding health, fitness, he should be there for France. Up next we have Jeremy Mathieu from Barcelona. You know, he gets time in obviously when PK is unable to go, or even other guys on Barcelona, so Jeremy Mathieu I think is a obvious choice for the French national team. Up next we have N'Golo Kante from Leicester City. He actually just got called up for their upcoming exhibition games, which are going to be in the next couple days, this coming weekend, I believe, when I'm recording this, obviously. So N'Golo Kante, I think, is a simple one. You know, he's been a hell of a player for Leicester City. He's been giving it all for them, and obviously he's been a big part, along with obviously Vardy and Mahrez, for Leicester's success this season. Up next, another midfielder I have is Lassana Diarra. Las Diarra, what can you say? You know, he's still pulling it off. He's playing very well at Marseille. I got it right that time. He's playing well at Marseille, playing very good defensively. Like I said, I don't watch the French league as much, but I've seen from what I've read that Diarra should be there. I believe he was also called up for these coming games soon. Up next, I have Kingsley Coman making the roster, and I think this is an easy one. He's been a beast for Bayern Munich. I'm still trying to wrap my whole head around that he's loaned from Juventus. That does not make any sense to me that Kingsley Coman was actually loaned from Juventus to Bayern Munich. Pretty nuts to me. Obviously, this kid has played for PSG, Bayern, Juve. He's played for big teams already, and he's been proving it this year with Bayern Munich coming off the bench, even starting some games, that he's a hell of a player. Now, I have Kingsley Coman in here because I don't have Franck Ribéry, and I also don't have Mathieu Valbuena. I'm going to kind of spoil that for you guys now. Reason I don't have the 2 of them in there is Ribéry, we know, has had some issues. Is he even going to be fit? If Ribéry is fit, obviously you bring him, but he's also had some problems with the national team, as well as Mathieu Valbuena with Benzema. So unless those issues are resolved, you can have the 2 of them in the team. So if Ribéry makes it, maybe Kingsley does not. And if Valbuena is going to come, maybe you take out a guy like Diarra, maybe you sacrifice a bit of defense for more of an attacking midfielder. Anyway, we're going to move on to André-Pierre Gignac. Gignac has not been playing as much. Obviously, he's playing out in Mexico. Their season starts and ends at different times, but he was a heck of a player for Tigres, winning the Mexican championship. He was actually again called up here, so he's clearly doing something right in the French coach eyes, and I think he is a good backup option for France on the bench. Up next, we have Anthony Martial. Martial, same thing. He could play on the left. He could play striker. I think another easy choice for France. I think they should bring up this young man. He's been probably other than maybe De Gea, best player for Manchester United this year. I think it's a simple choice to bring him. As my third goalie, I have Stéphane Ruffier. I read somewhere that he may have picked up a knock recently, but again, I said if he's healthy, he's there. Third goalie doesn't really matter. You don't see them as much. It's very odd, even though it has happened. I've seen it happen where 3 goalies have been used in a tournament, but I have Ruffier as a third goalie if he is healthy, of course. I can't believe I included him either. Olivier Giroud is my 21st player. I just slipped him into the roster. I don't know. Here's one. Maybe I would put Valbuena here instead of Olivier Giroud if Valbuena is going to come up. Olivier Giroud is just, I've never been a fan of him. I don't think I ever will be. You know, unless he proves me wrong very soon before the Euros. Next, I have Yohan Cabaye. He's been a heck of a player for Crystal Palace. He's been very good for them, obviously. I think it's a simple choice, obviously, to have Cabaye here, have a good experience kind of on the bench and for the midfield as well. And last but not least, we have Lucas Digne. Lucas Digne is actually a player I've kind of been a fan of. I had the chance to watch him at PSG a couple times. I think I even seen him live at the Paris Saint-Germain Benfica game I saw here in Canada. I believe he was still on PSG at the time before he got loaned out to Roma. And even watching him on Roma, I've been a fan of him. I think he's a good player. Obviously, I don't have him starting. I have Kurzawa ahead of him. but I think he could still crack the 23-man roster and still be a part of the team. So I have the team lined up in FIFA terms as a 4-2-2-2. I think it's pretty good, unless Ribéry, like I said, is going to play. Then maybe you do a 3, have Griezmann on the right, Ribéry on the left, and then Benzema in the middle. So once again, guys, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below which team you guys want to see me do next. It's been your boy Andrew RFC. Peace. Much love. Take care.